Yeah, documentary is The Overnighters. Hollywood Tim, our intern, has seen this.
Oh.
He loved it. Said it was great.
I like the director is with us, and he is Jesse Moss, and I love this the log line. It's called "Desperate broken men chase their dreams and run from their demons in the North Dakota oil fields. A local pastor risks everything to help them," and I assume that's the pastor, Jay Renke. How did you find this guy? And are you from North Dakota?
No, I'm not. I'm from California.
How'd you find this guy?
Well, I knew there was this extraordinary oil boom in North Dakota. I mean, everybody in America who needed a job has been going to North Dakota.
Right.
It's second chance America,
Yeah.
living wage, high wage job. So I thought it's just the fact that we could have a frontier boom town in America today just struck me as extraordinary. So I was following the story. I read a clergy column that Pastor Jay published in the local paper, and I reached out to him, and he said, "You've just got to come here and see what's going on." And I went to his church, and he showed me that about 50 men who were sleeping in the pews on the floor and in the parking lot of his church who'd come to North Dakota, desperate, broken men, some of whom had criminal records, really looking for a new lease on life. And he'd taken them in because there's nowhere to sleep in Williston and in the oil field because there are no rooms.
Mm-hmm. And they're going there. This is like their last chance.
These are guys who are holding on desperately to the last rung on the ladder, and if they slip, there's no ground beneath their feet. These are guys who, but they want to work.
Now you are a filmmaker.
I'm a documentary filmmaker. Yeah.
And did you go there with your gear and say, that's what you're going to do?
I went there by myself, kind of like an overnighter, looking for something. I wasn't sure what. I met Jay, and I had my camera, and I said, "This is heartbreaking. These men are raw and desperate." And I said, "Jay, the other thing is I don't have a place to stay." And he said, "You can sleep in the church."
On the floor with the rest
I
of them.
spent about 6 months sleeping in the church with the men, and I worked by myself. I shot the film, and it was just very, very intimate. I mean, I felt like there was a story to be told on the ground in North Dakota about what it was really like to survive there and to find work. And I felt like a lot of the story I was hearing was like, it's come here, show up, here's a job, here you go. And of course, there's a much deeper, darker story.
So they do get the job.
They do, but because some of these guys really, they have demons and they're kind of they're broken and they might find the job, but kind of one of the themes of the film is you really can't outrun who you are, even if you go to a boom town and you think, here I can invent. They don't care whether I went to prison for 16 years for murder. They're gonna, if you can do that, but you know what? If you got problems, they're gonna come with you, and that's kind of.
So then the newspaper starts digging up all this stuff about
That's
the
right.
past of these poor guys, and the town gets upset.
So it's not so simple. I mean, what Jay's living out, the pastor, is love thy neighbor, the Christian ethic, but the reality of practicing that rather than just preaching it is a lot more complicated, and taking in these guys who are kind of rough and ragged around the edges puts him in conflict with his congregation, his neighbors, really everybody in his life.
So this, in a way, is a story about the pastor.
He's our driving force in the film, and he's really, I'd say, very charismatic, but very complicated. And, it was early on clear to me that he wasn't just, that there was more to him, and I wasn't sure what it was, but something very personal that was driving him to help these men. And I think that was kind of the mystery of the film, that it unravels.
He's trying to do the right thing.
He very much is, and I think that we would think, again, that would be easy to help people in need, but when 1,000 desperate men show up on your doorstep and you open your doors, it's actually a lot more complicated. And this group of men becomes his surrogate family. Even though he has a wonderful supportive family, he gets more and more invested and involved emotionally in their lives, and it kind of like drags him in. It's a vortex.
They become dependent on him.
They do, and he takes on their burdens, and it really ends up almost shattering his life. That's the arc of the film.
Well, I would point out, not to be obvious about it, but that's what Christ did. I mean, he did. if you believe the stories.
How quickly the Christians forget.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. And there are a lot of people in his congregation who say, this is not what we should be doing.
Well,
and they start to leave the church. And the church itself, they turn on each other. And I think that, the film engages that question of, what does it mean to be a Christian? What does it mean to be a compassionate human being? And also these kind of the other sort of issues about employment in America. And so that was one of the challenges of the film, was like so many issues coming up. But I think the complexity of the story is what drew me to it and to him as a man.
Who gave him the name The Overnighters? That's interesting.
So Pastor Jay calls the program the Overnighters program, and he was very careful to point out that these people are not homeless. They have homes. They just left them. And so I think he knew that if he called this a shelter, a homeless shelter, that wouldn't sit well with people. So,
so did you start feeling like one of these guys yourself?
Not to oversell the point, because let's face it, I'm a documentary filmmaker from San Francisco, but I didn't have support for the film. I didn't have any funding. It was really a bootstrap production. The people who believed in it were like my wife, and that's about it. And I really did feel like I was searching for something, a story, but also some meaning in my life, and I found a profound relationship with this man and this community that really did change me. And I'm just thankful that I could come back with this story and share it with people, because I think it speaks to a lot about America today.
It's called The Overnighters. I have, let's see, is there a...
There have been a few screenings already. How's it been received?
It's been amazing because we've had Pastor Jay here, and that was so important. It's such an intimate film, and it's painful, really painful at times. And I guess to know that he could come here and participate in that to me is what Sundance is about too, is showing and seeing great films, but also having conversations afterwards. And whether they were here in Park City or down in Salt Lake, they've been incredible, and Jay's been part of that. And that to me is where the film lives now. Still
a few more chances to see The Overnighters. You can see it Tuesday the 21st at the Sundance Resort Screening Room in Provo at noon. Wednesday, January 22nd, Library Center Theater here in Park City, 8:45. And then again on Friday the 24th at the Redstone 1 at 9:30 in the evening.
It's The Overnighters, Jesse Moss, the director, and then I think you'll be able to see it elsewhere on television as well.
I hope so.
Yeah. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Nice talking to you.